Welcome to Connect, powered by the Fulton County Department of Senior Services. I'm your host, Ladisa Onilagu. This program connects you to information, programs, and services that support healthy aging. If I were to ask you to think about your grandmother or great-grandmother's bed and share what you see, what would you say? Or consider your linen closet and the oldest item in it. My guess would be your answer is a quilt. This rectangular or square-shaped textile, historically used for clothing, wall coverings, or bedding, is also used to honor American service members or veterans. On today's show, you will learn about the Quilt of Valor Foundation and how members of the HJC Bowden Senior Multipurpose Facility are honoring those who've served our country. We also have a new healthy recipe for you during our Perfectly Seasoned segment. You don't want to miss this informative and inspiring show, so stay tuned. We're back and glad to have you with us today on Connect. I'm your host, Ladisa Onilagu. The Fulton County Department of Senior Services multipurpose facilities offer life enrichment classes, nutrition, education, fitness, leisure, and other activities for adults 55 years and above. One of the many classes offered each quarter is quilting. One of our senior centers desired to do more than just quilt. They wanted their talents and love for this pastime to be used for a greater purpose. Joining me is Ms. Dorothea Wims at the HJC Bowden Senior Multipurpose Facility in East Point. She's an instructor and teaching our seniors the love of quilting. Ms. Wims, welcome to the show.
Good morning and thank you.
Tell us about your role at the Bowden Multipurpose Facility. What do you do there?
I'm the advanced sewing teacher, instructor, and I also teach quilting.
Okay, so who taught you to quilt and why do you enjoy this craft?
Well, Miss Patty Sattler, she taught me how to quilt. It was something that I always wanted to learn how to do. And I'm still learning.
Still learning. Did you learn at while you were at Bowden, before you
Yes,
came, or
at Bowden.
at Bowden? Okay. So this is a good nod to the benefits of joining a senior center like ours, where anyone can learn a new skill or craft. So I was looking at the information on the Quilts of Valor Foundation that we're talking about today, and I noted that your organization is called the Bowden Patchwork Quilts of Valor in East Point, Georgia, Group 55226. Tell us about the Quilt of Valor Foundation. How did you learn about it? And why were you interested in becoming a registered member?
Okay, well, the Quilt of Valor Foundation started in 2003 with a lady named Catherine Robertson. She started the organization due to her son was in Iraq and she made quilts. And the way we found out, the Bowden Center found out about it, we was at a quilt show in Hapeville. And this young lady named Sandy Yarberg approached me and asked me about quilting because I was admiring some of the quilts there. She said, "Do you like the quilts?" "Yeah, but I'm not as good as you all." So we had a lengthy conversation about Quilt of Valor. And it was 8 of us there. We put our heads together. Yeah, we can do this. It makes us feel good. We're giving back to the veterans. And we decided to join. So in 2017, 10 of us, we got with Sandy. She came from McDuffie County, filled out our information forms for us, told us everything we had to do. We joined right then and there, and we've been enjoying it ever since.
Wow.
It's fulfilling, relax you. It makes you feel warm and fuzzy inside to give back to the veterans.
Just like the quilts that you're making.
Yes.
Okay, so you probably have many memories of a Quilt of Valor ceremony. Can you share one or just talk about why the award ceremony is so important to you?
Okay, I have many. I just can't pinpoint one memorable one, but I'm going to try the most memory off the top of my head. We had to do a bedside presentation, and he was one of the members from the Bowden Center named Bobby Richards. We got the call that he was in a nursing facility, so we had made his quilt. We had scheduled our presentation for 2 weeks later. We got the call that he wasn't doing too good. We went and did the presentation, and the expression on his face was priceless.
Mhm.
And it was very emotional too. All of it is emotional because you look at the veterans and you think they sacrificed so much and they did so much for us. And it makes you think freedom for us wasn't free. Somebody paid a price for that. And this was one of our ways to show them that we appreciate what they've done for us, the sacrifices that they made, leaving home and their family. Some made it back, some didn't. So this is a little way we can express our appreciation is by giving them a quilt of ballot.
Yeah, that story I'm sure resonates with our viewers today. And even though you shared that it may seem like a little way to honor and recognize to the veterans, it probably means so much more. Miss Wims, what is your hope for the Bowden Patchwork Quilts of Valor group?
Well, we're short on members, few. We would like more members to join our organization. We're self-sufficient. Everything in this material and supply, we pay out of our pocket, and it can get costly, but we don't complain. So if we could get some support, if we could get more members, it was 10 of us at first. Now it's 5 original, and we have 4 new members. We need help.
Okay, so you started out with 10 members. You have gotten 4 new members, and as always, there's room for more to join. And so
Mhm.
I'll use this as a little nod to our viewers that our multi-purpose facilities would love to have anyone else come and join any one of our facilities throughout Fulton County, but consider joining the Quilts of Valor, the Bowden Patchwork group if you're interested in learning about quilting and serving our service members in a unique way. Ms. Wims, do you have any closing thoughts for us today?
Yes, and as of today, the Fountain Put the Ballot, we have presented over 40 quilts. So we're not just twiddling our thumb, we're workaholics. So please come out and support us, join us, and see what the Put the Ballot is all about.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Wims, for joining us today. We really appreciate your time and explaining to us what Quilts of Valor means to you.
Thank you.
Up next is Perfectly Seasoned with Brandy Coffee, Nutrition Services Coordinator with the Department of Senior Services, after this short break.
Today for Perfectly Seasoned, I am going to be presenting to you shrimp and grits, a Southern classic. My ingredients are, of course, grits. We have our shrimp. I'm going to be using an assortment of red onion and yellow onion, as well as cherry tomatoes and a green pepper. I have roughly chopped up my red onions, my yellow onion, as well as my green pepper and my garlic and my tomatoes. I'm going to be making this into a sauce. So I will be adding about 3 tablespoons of olive oil. And because I'm making a portion size for 4 people, I'm using more ingredients. So I'm gonna let this heat up because what I wanted to do is I want a mixture of these flavors with the garlic and the red onion to give me a wonderful sauce for the shrimp. And I'm going to allow that oil to heat up, and I'm going to start with my grits. So right here we have some boiling water. I'm adding 2 cups of grits, and I'm going to stir. I want these grits to be creamy, so after they start to boil up, I'm going to add milk to my grits. You want to constantly stir your grits because you don't want lumpy grits. So I'll be working both pans at the same time. Now I'm going to add my ingredients to the pan. This is going to be cooking a while because we want these tomatoes to cook down into a nice tomato sauce. Right? So this is going to take a little bit longer. I don't want them to burn, so I'm going to turn down my flame and kind of let that stew for a little while so that we can get that wonderful sauce. Our shrimp is going to be the last thing that we add because we don't want our shrimp to be tough. So we'll allow this to cook and we'll continue to work on our grits. I had to add about 2 tablespoons of water to my pan to liquefy it. As you can see, it's starting to turn into a sauce, right? And this has been on the fire for about 5 minutes, and we're getting there. We're not quite there yet. Our grits are here stewing. I'm going to add thyme leaves and oregano just to give it a little flavor. So as you can see, I'm adding a tablespoon of thyme, and I'm doing a tablespoon of oregano. All right, and it's starting to liquefy, right? And I'm going to add in the shrimp. The shrimp only takes about less than 30 seconds to cook. Once you see that the shrimp is pink, the shrimp is done. You don't want to overcook. I don't want to stress that enough. You don't want to overcook your shrimp because it'll be tough and hard to chew. You want it to be tender to the tooth. So I'm going to stir this up. Our shrimp is finally cooked down in our sauce. We have our creamy grits, which I'm going to turn off. And I present to you shrimp and grits. Enjoy. Bon appetit.
Welcome back to Connect. I'm your host, Ladisa Onilagu. A quilt of valor is a quality handmade quilt that is machine or hand quilted. It is awarded to a service member or veteran who has been touched by war. The quilt says unequivocally, "Thank you for your service and sacrifice in serving our nation." The recognition started with the dream of Catherine Roberts in 2003. She was a Blue Star mom whose son was deployed to Iraq. She always said she was 10 seconds away from panic 24 hours a day. Catherine was a nurse and knew the importance of wrapping our wounded and covering them in love. Oftentimes, soldiers come off the battleground without anything, and the Quilt of Valor organization is able to award quilts overseas once a soldier comes off the battleground as well as home. Quilts are presented, awarded, and not just handed to veterans. It is a presentation given in comfort and love. The Quilt of Valor organization has grown to over 11,000 members, over 600 groups, and nearly 360,000 quilts have been recorded and presented across the country. Our next guest received one of those quilts. Joining me to talk more about this honor, her service, and how she serves others is Ms. Lois Nimmons. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Ms. Nimmons, first, thank you for your service.
Mhm.
Will you share with our viewers a little bit about yourself and where you served?
Well, as you say, I am a veteran. I spent 22 years in the United States Air Force, and I served stateside, and I had also had opportunities to go to Alaska, Germany, and South Korea, in addition to many states here in the United States.
Ms. Nimmons, where are you originally from, and were you always interested in serving our country?
I am originally from Florida, and no, I was not always interested in serving into the military. There were things that happened in my life that caused me to make that choice after attending college for a couple of years because I wanted to further my education, and the military provided that opportunity. So I chose to go into the military, and I did successfully complete my education as I wanted to.
Oh, fantastic. So how did you become affiliated with the Bowden Center?
As a participant at the center, I learned that the quilting class made quilts to give to veterans. And as a veteran, I decided to register to obtain a quilt for myself and my husband. And in so doing, I became interested in not only after I received the quilt, but also to start working on quilts to give to other veterans as well.
Was this your first time quilting, or did you do this before you joined Bowden?
This was my first opportunity to learn how to quilt. So initially, I was not really interested in the quilting. I was interested in receiving a quilt. And then after I received the quilt, then I became interested in also making quilts to give to other veterans.
And I don't want to overlook your mention of your husband. Where did he serve?
Most of the time we served together.
Oh.
There were a couple of times that we were separated, but not for long periods of time, because the military at that time, did offer opportunities for couples to join together, provided their careers were compatible with the needs of the military.
Okay, well, very good. We appreciate his service too. So you've talked to us about how you were interested, you signed up to receive a Quilt of Valor. Is that quilt that you received during the ceremony your most favorite memory of a quilt, or is there something else that you've created that holds a special place in your heart?
I think, no, not my presentation. Is not the most memorable for me, but I'm highly, highly appreciative of it. I think, as Ms. Williams indicated, the most memorable for me is the presentation of quilts to those persons or those veterans who are no longer with us. And it is our way, for those of us who were in the military, we have a camaraderie that most persons do not understand. We always stick together. And I remember the presentations of giving quilts to those persons who are no longer with us. Those are the most memorable events of the Quilt of Valor for me.
Thank you, Ms. Nimmons. Last question. What does it mean to you to create a quilt that will wrap and comfort a veteran?
Once again, as I said, as a veteran, it is comforting to know that in this time of chaos, that there are persons who are still appreciative for the services that we provided for our country, for the freedom of democracy. And I hope that this show of appreciation will continue for many years.
Freedom definitely is not free, and we thank you again for your service and your time today.
Thank you.
We'll be back with closing thoughts. We're so glad you shared your time with us today. The Fulton County Department of Senior Services exists to support health, independence, and delay cognitive decline for seniors, caregivers, and the community. Delaying cognitive decline. The National Library of Medicine published a study of seniors who learned digital photography and quilting. The results suggested that sustained engagement in cognitively demanding novel activities enhances memory function in older adulthood. There are numerous benefits from learning the craft of quilting. Today, you learned about a new benefit of quilting and how seniors honor veterans and their service, how the quilts are meant to say thank you for their sacrifice, and how the quilts of valor are meant to offer healing, peace, comfort, and warmth to the individual who receives it, and for veterans to know that they will be forever in the hearts and prayers of the ones who created it. We welcome your feedback and the opportunity to speak with you further about our programs at all multipurpose facilities, as well as other services for Fulton County seniors. For more information, contact us at 404-613-6000 or email us at seniorservices@fultoncountyga.gov. You may also follow us at Fulton Info. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Connect, powered by the Fulton County Department of Senior Services.